Well, hello and thanks for joining. I'm Scott Baker, analyst at Opus Research. From 24/7 AI today, I'm joined by Ananth Srinivasan, Senior Product and Solutions Marketing Manager. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Scott. It's great to be here.
It's good to have you. We're here upon my request. I wanted to hear more about 24/7 AI's latest enhancements to the Engagement Cloud. So let's go back to Customer Contact Week, CCW, where the new capabilities enhancements were announced. You were a finalist for Cloud-Based CX Solution of the Year, but winner of the BPO of the Year, which is a pretty big deal. So tell me a little more about your experience in the announcement at CCW.
Thank you so much, Scott. CCW was super exciting for us. And you're right, in addition to being a finalist of the CX Cloud-Based Solution of the Year, we went on to win the BPO Solution of the Year award. And this comes on the back of us winning Disruptive Technology of the Year award in December 21 at CCW. So it's been a great couple of outings at CCW. There was the instant recognition, great recall. We had a number of prospects come by to the booth, engage with us. They were curious to learn more about what we do. And we have a great story to tell. And that, we started out as a contact center operations provider, and then used those learnings and insights to come up with our technology offering. So we're quite unique that way. And there was great recognition, gained a lot of traction with the analyst community too. And in the digital world, we got a fair amount of media pickup and great engagement on social media. So I think NetNet couldn't have been more pleased with the last couple of CCW outings.
When I first read your headline, the only CCaaS platform built for contact centers by experts in contact center operations, I thought, well, there's a lot of confidence in that quote. There's a lot of swagger, but then you go and you get the BPO of the Year award. So that's great validation. So tell me more about how 24/7 will position this as a true differentiator in the market.
Thank you, Scott. That's a great question. CCaaS is a crowded marketplace. We all know that. And in fact, we've thought about that quite a bit ourselves. Why now and how do we enter this marketplace? And, our roots are in contact center operations. We've been running customer support operations for a diverse client base for more than 2 decades now. And that gives us a unique opportunity to use virtually all the solutions and capabilities out there in the CCaaS market. And time and again, we've found that there are many gaps. And we understand, by the virtue of running contact center programs, we understand what truly agents need and what contact centers need. We're able to wade through the fluff, if you will, and really understand the impact of every capability out there. And who better would you find to build a solution for contact centers besides the folks that work in the contact center? So that's how our CCaaS platform came to be. And that's exactly what is reflected in our claim and our messaging. Why now? It was perhaps time, wasn't it? We were waiting for the silver bullet maybe, but it was right within us all the time. And the response has been great at CCW and outside of CCW as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of momentum around what we call the Conversational Cloud, where you have multiple solutions that can connect easily, one kind of solution to that can impact all business units and can learn across conversations. But as importantly, and this is where your expertise comes in, the ability to really understand the role of the agent, their pain points, how to make their lives easier, maybe offload tasks through automation. And so part of that in your claims of 60% automation, 25% increasing customer loyalty, agent productivity improvements. So let's talk about the agent productivity claim, because this is a subject that's kind of near and dear to my heart. How are we going to change the lives of agents, take them off mundane tasks, make them, committed or involved in higher value tasks? So because you're experts in contact center, that leads me to believe you have unique insights into improving the agent experience. So maybe you can talk a little more about that claim, specifically how you see the role of agent evolving as conversational intelligence and automation offload more tasks.
Absolutely, Scott. Love the question. In fact, I think it's appropriate that I start with a little bit of my own story, if I may.
Yeah.
Uh, I started out as a customer service agent back in the day, if I might add, for a major internet service provider serving customers in the US. And I know firsthand that it's not easy being an agent, to smile in every call and to take calls day in and day out.
Yeah.
And a large proportion of your job can be repetitive or mundane in nature, like you called out. And I've got metrics to it. I've got average handle time, first contact resolution, customer satisfaction, cross sales, upsells, quality, and the list can go on. And half the time I'm scrambling for resources, at times looking up even 5 different systems and finding the right solutions for customers. And problems faced by agents today, unfortunately, are not a lot different, right? And in my current role at 24/7.ai, I have a terrific opportunity and an important responsibility to collaborate with internal teams and influence what goes into product. And at 24/7.ai, we are very intentional about it. And we have access to our operations team. We ensure that we rope them in, bring in their knowledge and insight, and influence what goes into the product collectively. In fact, we make this a repeatable process at 24/7.ai. For instance, our design team sat down with agents and supervisors in the operations floor, and we collectively design what is called as the new design language that goes into the agent console or the agent workspace. And we actually go down to the trenches. We like to understand what agents like to have in their direct line of sight versus what is disrupting their workflows and experiences, and build the solution. We kind of do agent-centered design, if you will, and do it at scale. So this coupled, you also spoke about conversational automation. That is an area of strength for us as well. In fact, that is what we do for a number of our clients. We advance their automation to 60% and beyond, and that is significant, right? And what this really means is that when the bot takes over the mundane, you touched upon that. I, as an agent, you're already enriching my job because you're giving me the more complex and higher value interactions. And you're using the same AI layer to give me AI-enabled resources and real-time assistance. So you're taking the cognitive load off of me and you're letting me to focus solely on the customer only, right? And that's what you want of your agents. And this is exactly what we deliver for most of our clients now. And this is also the AI layer that I can interact with as an agent. I can train the AI, and that's another way you are enriching my job. And we see that with, it's almost a pattern now that a lot of clients and, a general trend out there in the market are reserving a portion of their resources, agents, and a dedicated time of their, of their daily job to help train the AI. And when you do that at scale, the AI gets better and the agent's job becomes furthermore easier. And it is like a continuous loop, right? And, that's exactly how you enrich the AI and, AI agent balance, if you will.
Yeah. It must be really satisfying that you started in the contact center and you get to grow and see all of these changes. And it seems like in the last 2 years specifically, and part of this is lessons learned through the pandemic and the kind of crunch time of enabling these services. But it must be really satisfying to see that role of the agent change. And like you said, agents today may be the content designers or speech science support of tomorrow. It seems like a new career path. And I find that fascinating. I must assume you having that experience, there's kind of an extra level of satisfaction to kind of seeing this process.
100%. And that's what keeps me, going day in and day out in my current role, because I've been an agent. I've lived that persona as well, if you will. And, I'm able to tie back everything that we do with our product into, hey, does it really matter to the agents? Is it really making sense for them? Is it making a positive impact? Right. And you said it, the career paths, they can be multiple directions that agents can take in the world of AI. And I think there is enough acknowledgement already that AI and automation is here to augment the agent's day job versus taking away their
Yeah.
jobs, right? So yeah, conversational design is one area, conversation data science is another, or they could just, grow up in their career and, and flourish in different directions.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, we've talked about that a lot in the past couple of years, but we weren't seeing a lot of actionable examples or real world examples until, just about the last year or so. Like it's not just lip service about like, oh, we're making agents' lives easier, we're not trying to replace them. We're seeing the actual fruits of these changes in conversational intelligence make their lives better, give them new opportunities. So it's not just a talking point anymore. It's something that's measurable. So I am curious, in terms of some of those lessons learned and you having that direct experience, what do you think will become the new normal for contact centers? If that's not too big a question.
Wow, it's a great question. I think about this a lot. In fact, the last couple of years have kind of redefined a lot of things for contact centers. There's been what funnily said is the pandemic fueled innovations. We hear that a lot. And we've seen that with a number of our clients as well, right? So those were really unprecedented times. And now we seem to be at the back of it, knock on wood, right? And we're starting to think about what is the next normal. I think there are three areas where there's enough evidence as we see it. One is, consumers, especially over the last couple of years, they form new habits in how they purchase and interact with brands. And that's predominantly digital first. And contact centers have, their roles cut out because they need to keep pace with all of these new and emerging customer preferences on the digital channels. It could be about adding new channels. It could be about enhancing experiences across those channels, right? That's one thing that we see that definitely is going to take fruition in the near future. The second is about the hybrid model, right? That's here to stay. So what can contact centers do to enable remote agents to keep them engaged and happy on the job? We know happy agents lead to happy customers. And three, I think it's safe to say that the multi-year plans that contact centers have traditionally adopted is going to get replaced by more nimble and flexible strategies as it relates to technology, as it relates to workforce engagement, or the other areas that they care about. And there's also the economic turmoil brewing. Who knows, maybe there's a recession on the way, but that's all the more reasons for contact centers to kind of future-proof their operating models and their technology stacks. And to that end, I think there are a couple of things I'd like to call out. One is I think there is a lot of merit in moving to a cloud-based contact center platform, right? You immediately have a solution to exercising the work from home model. It gives you the flexibility and the agility to innovate in the CX space and do it quickly, right? And the second is that you mentioned conversational AI and automation. I think we absolutely want to embrace that, right? So it is like the one gift that you give to make two friends, agents and customers,
Yeah.
right? And with the right automation strategy, you drive through customer self-service, and you're also augmenting the agent's job day in and day out. So, it's a win-win for customers, agents, and the businesses alike.
Yeah, it feels like some of the promises, that were made in recent years are now just kind of becoming a reality. It's like, and we can start measuring. Like, okay, we said this is going to happen. Now it's really happening. We've connected the pieces.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned measurement. That's another area of focus for contact centers as they look into the future. Data and analytics. We all know contact centers, they have access to a wealth of knowledge and insights. This is unsolicited feedback coming directly from your customers. And it's not always about the support organization, right? There's feedback about products, about marketing, about services, about supply chain operations and what have you.
Yeah,
And
maybe
this
bugs. It could be sometimes it's a bug
exactly
tracker, Yeah.
exactly. So there's tremendous value creation opportunities for contact centers, and voice of the customer is discussed in the boardroom these days, right? So CX is number one priority, or the top three for most businesses, and contact centers, I believe, have a central and pivotal role to play there.
Yeah. Well, and what I love about that is we kind of turn we kind of turn things back to the enterprise or the brands to say, hey, all of that conversational intelligence we promised you, we now
Mhm.
have it. It's all there. The voice of the customer lives in all of this data. And to your point, you could find out maybe people are giving you feedback because something on the website isn't working. So then that's,
Right.
or maybe something is unclear in the documentation. Every single department in the company can now benefit from mining this conversational intelligence from the agent supporting and giving that feedback to the organization. So now it's kind of on the enterprises to say, how are we going to make this actionable? Not just the group that bought the software, who bought the product, but how do we make this actionable and kind of have a center of excellence to understand how this is impacting the entire organization and how we can get the benefits and insights from it. So, yeah,
100%.
it's a
Yeah.
pretty exciting time. I think at this point, for a while it felt like it was the vendors trying to catch up to the promises that
Mhm.
were made, and now we're kind of turning the tables to say, all right, here it is. Now it's your job to
Absolutely.
understand how to operationalize it and
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
advantage.
Tremendous opportunity to make analytics more pervasive. Traditionally, we've looked at analytics from a very diagnostic perspective, what is happening. But now with advances in speech analytics and text analytics and the advanced analytics, we're able to understand the whys behind the whats, right? And then you take it even further and start doing predictive analytics, where you anticipate what it is that the customer is going to need and serve them up, right at the need of the hour. And that's the way forward. And some of them are already doing it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a cool time to be in the business you're in. You've been in it from the contact center, to where you've arrived today. So I imagine it's a pretty good job nowadays. It must feel pretty good.
It does, Scott. It's very satisfying.
Well, Ananth Srinivasan, thank you so much. Senior Product and Solutions Marketing Manager at 24/7 AI. I really enjoyed the conversation. It must be a very exciting time to be at 24/7 AI. I loved hearing your story and knowing that you started in the contact center and then have arrived to where you are today. So best of luck to the team, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much, Scott. Pleasure.
Thanks, Ananth. For more analysis and expertise in conversational AI and intelligent authentication, visit opusresearch.net.